How are you ding-dong diddly doing there, neighborinos? Hope you're having a flanderific day. I'm here with G.
Yeah, he's finally got on with me.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. It was not my fault. My brother had stolen the PS5, so I had to go and liberate
that's
it,
what it
you
is.
know. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Kick him off.
Yeah. I had to bust into his room like the Kool-Aid man. Give me the PS5! Because I'm playing too much Batman. Where is it?
I've seen you stream that lately. I just haven't been able to pull it up.
I gotcha. I stream kind of late.
Marvel Rivals.
I gotcha. Do you remember what?
Genesis 6 for some reason.
That is.
Do you not run it next Thursday?
Huh?
Next Thursday? What am I saying? Did you not run it last Thursday? Did you not do the Bible study?
No, I did. Why?
I wasn't there.
No, I did it.
The reason I asked is because we were on 19. No, we're not. This is disciples. Blah, blah, blah.
I was gonna say it's definitely not 19. Definitely not. What has happened? Why am I out here? What the?
It was 19. We just read 18. Oh wait, no, we didn't.
Oh, I'm at least on 20 or 21.
Okay, so you did read it last week.
What happened in 19 again?
19 was Beyond the Jordan is the first tag. The Rich Angular. Oh, we read that. I read the Rich Angular. Rich Young Ruler. Oh, why am I in KJV? Get this crap out of here.
You know, the version I've been using. I don't know if you can hear me too well.
So I'm not going to read it.
Fair enough.
If you can understand it, more power to you.
See, I just hear that that's like one of the best versions to use because it like some of the versions kind of like leave out some verses or something. Or that's
KJV is the one that leaves out verses. The Old English didn't have a lot of the same words that we use now, and so they kind of left some meaning out of it.
Oh, from what I've heard, it's the other way around. That was like the most direct translation from the old stuff.
Context and things. This is just what I've heard. I don't know, personally. To answer your question, Bible Man, I am going to be reading out of NIV. I don't know what Ultra's doing.
The Good News translation.
Oh, that's what it is. So we have two different versions, but
right.
I like NIV.
So I can say...
I switch back and forth.
You know, just so I can say, good news, everyone! You know.
I have not finished Futurama yet.
Oh, well, I mean, I haven't watched any of the new ones, so...
Yeah, I haven't caught up to the new ones yet. I think I'm on season 8.
What happens in season 8?
All I know is Fry and Leela are going through it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, that actually does narrow it down.
That's the last thing I remember. It's been a while. I used to watch it with my ex, and then once we broke up, I kind of stopped.
Ah. It's always one of my favorite shows, so I've seen all the episodes.
Yeah, I need to continue watching it. Anyways, that's besides the point. Let's get to Jesus.
Yeah. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
It is up to you, my friend.
I'll start. The kingdom of heaven is The kingdom of heaven is like this. Once there was a man who went out early in the morning to hire some men to work his vineyard. He agreed to pay them the regular wage, a silver coin a day, and sent them to work in the vineyard. He went out again into the marketplace at 9 o'clock and saw more men standing there doing nothing. He told them, "You also go and work in the vineyard, and I will pay you a fair wage." I feel like I have read this before. This sounds...
You want to jump to 21?
I'm going to jump to 21. This sounds incredibly familiar. Yeah, and then they start, like, complaining that the dude has decided to pay everyone the same amount. And he's like, well, what are you upset about? Like, I told you you were going to get this amount, and you were happy with it at the time. It's like, it's only now that I'm, like, giving the same amount to everyone else that I said I'd give them the same amount to that you're starting to complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so verse 1. As Jesus and his disciples approached Jerusalem, they came to Bethphage.
Oh, sorry. For those who follow along, we're Matthew 21:1.
Yeah, because I must have read this last week. At the Mount of Olives. There Jesus sent 2 of his disciples on ahead with these instructions. Go to the village there ahead of you, and at once you will find a donkey tied up with her colt beside her. Untie them and bring them to me. Oh, is this going to be the Palm Sunday?
Yeah, this is weird. We might actually time this in time for Easter.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And if anyone says anything, tell them, the master needs them, and then he will let them go at once. This happened in order to make come true what the prophet had said. Tell the city of Zion, look, your king is coming to you. He is humble and rides on a donkey, and on a colt, the foal of a donkey. So the disciples went and did what Jesus had asked them to do. They brought the donkey and the colt, threw their coats over them, and Jesus got on. A large crowd of people spread their cloaks on the road, while others cut branches from the tree and spread them on the road. The crowd walking in front of Jesus and those walking behind began to shout, "Praise to David's son! God bless him!" Because just a random thing. Because, like I said, I've been reading through. I actually started at Genesis on my own time, and I'm in Exodus now. And it's interesting that, like, Jesus is from David's line, because David is from Judah's line, and Judah, who turns out he was not as cool of a dude as, like, you kind of think he is until, like, later in the story. He's kind of a dick at the first part of the story, but regardless of that, the praise he gets from Jacob specifically tells him that like a king is going to come out of his line and, like, pretty much rule forever. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that's kind of neat.
He's also from Abraham's line.
True. Well, I mean,
like everything is tied together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of things are from Abraham's line, either directly or indirectly. Just because, you know, he had the first son, Ishmael. I don't remember his name, but it was the one that he had before Isaac, and he went off and he was his own nation. And I want to say he even had, like, another son too, with another, like, not his wife, but it was like cool though, because God said it was cool. I forget what the term is, like a handmaid, I guess. I don't know. Regardless, when Jesus entered Jerusalem, the whole city was thrown into an uproar. "Who is he?" the people asked. "This is the prophet Jesus from Nazareth in Galilee," the crowds answered. Jesus went into the temple and drove out all those who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the stools of those who sold pigeons. Oh, we're into righteous anger now. All right. I feel like there was something else I was going to briefly mention here. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if, like, necessarily another book talks about this story, but another thing that I've been seeing a lot is people will, like, find, like, all the different, like, stories in the Gospels, And it's really neat how, like, each perspective lines up on it. Like, for example, with Pilate, one of them says that, like, Jesus says, you know, like, oh yeah, no, I'm the king, or whatever. And Pilate's just like, yep, he can go. And then in another one, you find out that, like, Jesus says more before that, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm, like, the religious king, you know? Like, I'm not, like, I don't have, like, any, like, physical territory, you know? I'm not, like, trying to overthrow the Romans. Which is why he's like, oh, cool, that's fine. That's fine, you know? I don't really care about that. And then in another one, it talks about how the Pharisees are like, yeah, but we need to kill him, though. So it's just kind of neat how, like, you read through it, and you get these little pieces, and then as you read through the other ones, like, it gives more context and more details to the stories that you've already read. And I don't know, I just think that's really, really cool. Also, another thing is you can do that with historical context, and, like, if the apostles are, like, traveling somewhere, it typically makes sense. Like, there's a story in Acts where Paul is preaching to this Roman official, right? This guy's blaspheming God, right? So Paul tells him, you're blind, and the dude just goes blind or whatever. And the Roman is, like, super impressed by it, obviously. But then it talks about how later Paul ends up traveling to this other city, but then, using historical context, we can tell that it's the same, like, last name. The dude who was in charge of this region that Paul was traveling to next, the Roman leader of it, had the same last name as the dude he was talking to that he had impressed in the other city. So it's like, oh, he's probably going to preach to his, like, uncle or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of Q. You want to pick up Q? Yeah, Q. You know. Do you want to pick up on verse 11? Oh, you want
to point, and I lost what the point was.
Sorry, I've been blabbering a lot.
Oh, no, you're good. It's also cool to, like, see what the different disciples regarded as
what they, like, found important.
Not necessary. Yeah, important. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Mark was like, Jesus was born. All right, let's get to his ministry.
Yeah, no, I feel like Mark is kind of like a speed run.
Like, Luke and Matthew were more, like, getting to depth of, like, this is how he was born, and this is what happened when he was born, and all this other stuff. And so it's just, it is like personal stories that they're writing that are like, this is the life of Jesus.
Yeah, and then John is just like, you do know he's God, though, right? Something else kind of random made me think of this, that I think Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. But I'm going to have to call BS on that. And because, think about it this way, logically. You're an early church leader, right? And you know that you have no idea who wrote this book, right? Why do you pick Luke? Like, that doesn't make any sense. He's not a major character. Like, you think if you were trying to fake it and you were trying to do it with, like, some authority or whatever, you would pick, like, oh, this is the Gospel of Peter. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is the Gospel of, I don't know, Simon.
Is the same person?
Oh, it is the same person? Oh, whoops. Okay.
I think so.
Well, either way, regardless, I feel like you could find a more major biblical character to, like, again, this is assuming that, like, the early church fathers are like, we have no idea who wrote this, but we want to, like, give it, like, someone famous's name, you know, to give it, like, authority. Again, you don't pick, like, this obscure character.
Yeah.
That logically doesn't make any sense to me. That was it.
Are we ready to read?
Yes, we are.
I'm going to start back over at 12 because that's where my header is.
Sure.
Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches. Sorry, I got a text to distract me. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. 13. It is written, he said to them, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. The blind and the lame came to him at the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests and the teachers of the law saw the wonderful things he did, and the children shouting in the temple courts, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were indignant. Do you hear what these children are saying? They said to him. Yes, Jesus replied. Have you never read? From the lips of children and infants, you, Lord, have called forth your praise. And he left them and went to the city of Bethany, where he spent the night.
Okay, just real quick, I wanna point out in verse 15 and 16, because like there's a couple of people out there who will be like, oh, it's only John who says that like Jesus is God, but like in 15 and 16, these people are praising him, calling him the son of David, and what was the other thing that you said? Like Hosanna? Yeah. Okay. So, and the Pharisees go and they say, do you hear what they're saying? They're praising you. And Jesus is like, yeah, they sure are. That doesn't sound like just a prophet to me. It sounds like that's probably God being like, yeah, that this is the way it's supposed to be.
That's a good point. Do you want to pick up the next verse? Or you want me to?
I absolutely can. What verse are we on again?
18.
On his way back to the city early next morning, Jesus was hungry. He saw a fig tree by the side of the road. Oh, no, not the fig tree.
Let's just keep reading.
He saw a fig tree by the side of the road and went to it, but found nothing on it except leaves. So he said to the tree, you will never bear fruit. And at once the fig tree dried up. The disciples saw this and were astounded. How did the fig tree dry up so quickly? They asked. Jesus answered, I assure you that if you believe and do not doubt, you will be able to do what I have done to this fig tree. And not only this, but you will even be able to say to this hill, get up and throw yourself into the sea, and it will. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Jesus came back to the temple, and he taught the chief priests, and the elders came to him and asked, what right do you have to do these things? Who gave you such right? Jesus answered them, I will ask you just one question, and if you give me an answer, I will tell you what right I have to do these things. Where did John's right to baptize come from? Was it from God or from human beings? They started to argue among themselves. What shall we say? If we answer from God, he will say to us, why then did you not believe John? But if we say from human beings, we are afraid of what the people might do because they are convinced that John was a prophet. So they answered Jesus, we don't know. And he said to them, neither will I tell you. Then by what right do I do these things? I'm sorry, I just think that's funny that they're like, we don't know. And Jesus is like, well, guess what? I'm not going to tell you. I think that's just, it's savage.
He's like, yes, I don't know either.
I think that's just really savage and hilarious. Wow, I feel like there's just a lot to talk about this because I hear a lot of debate on this fig tree. People are saying that could be us right now, or that could be like them back then. And man, do I really not want to be the fig tree.
Right.
Yeah. I want to say either in another translation or in another book, Jesus specifically says that like it will never grow fruit again, and it's going to die because it's not going to grow fruit. So what's the point of it? You know? It's like that's not.
That's good.
Isn't that something you want
That's a good point.
Jesus to say?
We're gonna talk over each other because there's like a slight Discord delay.
Yes, it's so annoying. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to do that to you.
No, it's good. It's good. Finish your thought.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, you don't want Jesus to say that about you. You really, really don't want Jesus to say that about you.
Yeah, should you just make, whoa, I don't even know how I just pronounced your name. What am I saying?
It happens.
Your name. Sir Jesus Freak. Made a good point by saying, when the Pharisees and the teachers said that, replied, we don't know, basically Jesus said, that's why you'll never know my answer.
Oh, that makes it even more savage. Whoa.
What happened?
My remote fell and my character started going a little nuts. It's all good though.
Are you doing your AFK Minecraft thing?
Yeah. It's kind of weird because I'm shooting through a bunch of tubes right now, like AFK and gunpowder.
Okay.
You'd have to see it for it to make sense. All right, yeah, go ahead.
What do you... Whoa. Excuse me?
Oh, I also just want to say, I feel like... Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, I was apologizing for me having to mute my mic.
Oh. I was just going to say real quick, 22 sounds like some prosperity gospel stuff. A lot to mean that Jesus will give you like $1 million.
Right. I think that's more talking about how your faith in Christ will give you
right.
You ask for.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That this is definitely more of a spiritual thing and not like a monetary gain kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. All right, 28. What do you think? There was a man who had 2 sons. He went to the first and said, "Son, go and work today in the vineyard." "I will not," he answered, but he later changed his mind and went. Then the father went to the other son and said the same thing. He answered, "I will, sir," but he did not go. Which of these two did what his father wanted? Sorry, I don't know why I was waiting for you to respond.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to fill in the answer there for you. I didn't realize I was the Pharisees. Damn.
I have the red lettering, and so my brain was like, this is a different line. Ultra, go!
Yeah, this is an ultra line here. That's funny.
Anyways, he said, the first they replied, Jesus said to them, "Truly I tell you, the tax collectors and the prostitutes are entering the kingdom of God ahead of you." And I lost it because I got a notification and tried to get rid of it. Where am I?
You're good. I'll pick up on verse 32.
Okay, go for it.
For John the Baptist came to you, showing you the right path to take, and you would not believe him. But the tax collectors and the prostitutes believed him. Even when you saw this, you did not later change your minds and believe him. Listen to another parable, Jesus said. There was once a landowner who planted a vineyard, put a fence around it, dug a hole for the wine press, and built a watchtower. Then he rented the vineyard to tenants and left home on a trip. Oh, Airbnb, okay. When the time came to gather the grapes, he sent his slaves to the tenants to receive his share of the harvest. The tenants grabbed, I don't know where I got gobbled from. The tenants...
We're getting our words jumbled today.
Yeah, this is a big...
chaotic session.
Yeah, dyslexic stream here. The dyslexic Bible. That's actually probably really bad.
I mean, I'm sure they make a dyslexic reading Bible.
Yeah, I'm just saying that would be bad though. If you mix up the wrong word in the wrong place. Could be bad. The tenants grabbed his slaves, beat one, killed another, and stoned another. Again the man sent other slaves, more than the first time, and the tenants treated them the same way. Last of all he sent his son to them. Surely they will respect my son, he said. But when the tenants saw the son, they said to themselves, this is the owner's son. Come on, let's kill him and we will get his property. So they grabbed him, threw him out of the vineyard, and killed him. Now, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those tenants? Jesus asked. He will certainly kill those evil men, they answered, and rent the vineyard out to other tenants who will give him his share of the harvest at the right time. Jesus said to them, haven't you ever read what the scriptures say? The stone which the builders rejected as worthless turned out to be the most important of all. This was done by the Lord. What a wonderful sight it is. And so I tell you, added Jesus, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to people who produce the proper fruits. The chief priests and Pharisees heard Jesus' parables, and they knew that he was talking about them, so they tried to arrest him, but they were afraid of the crowd who considered Jesus to be a prophet.
I think that's hilarious that these Pharisees are like, hey, we know you are Jesus, but quit talking about us in a bad light.
Yeah, but we kind of don't.
Go ahead and take you.
Yeah, but we kind of don't.
We're just gonna go ahead and take you into custody now.
Yeah, no, you're so right. It's like, we know you're Jesus and you're like a prophet at the very least, but we don't appreciate what you're saying, so you're going to jail now.
Right? Well, you also see this in Acts. I'm going through Acts in my Monday Bible study that I have with some local people. And we just read Acts 5, which is basically the apostles getting arrested for preaching like in the streets. And then an angel comes and gets them out of jail. And it's just like, hey, go back to what you were doing. So they go back to what they were doing. And then the Pharisees come to the jail and they're like, whoa. Sir Jesus Freak just said they arrested him for hate speech.
Wow, yeah. Fucking taking some cues from the UK government.
But anyways, the Pharisees come to the jail and they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? Where did they go? And then somebody was like, hey, didn't the guys you just arrested are like back where you arrested them from? So then they go back out in the streets and they're like, but I lost my train of thought.
You were talking.
We're scared to arrest them because all these people are listening to them. So they kind of just like, hey, could you like come with us? And the apostle's like, sure.
That's pretty funny.
And then it's just like the Pharisees at the time were like, this is gonna end badly for us if we just try to openly arrest them. But like we don't like what they're doing, so let's just go ahead and see if they comply.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still here. Yes.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you didn't have anything else to add on the end there. It kind of reminds me of the story with like Paul is in jail, and then like the massive earthquake happens, and everyone escapes, and Paul's just like, "Oh, hi, I'm still here. I saw that your wall like exploded and everything, but."
Dude, I really want to make like a modern retelling of the Bible, or just use like modern slang and stuff. I feel like it'd be funny just to watch of it.
Honestly,
yeah, no, I'm chilling, bro. I'm just chilling here. It's fine. Y'all do what you need to do. I'll stay here.
No, that honestly would be so funny. It wasn't me, I swear.
Yeah, well, I didn't do it. That's why I stayed.
No, that actually would be pretty funny to see like a comedic retelling of the Bible.
I'm sure somebody has made it somewhere. I just like a full series of going like through Bible stories and just like a comedic retelling.
You know, God just goes into the Garden of Eden. He's just like, "Are you shitting me? Like, really? I give you one fucking rule."
Maybe without the cussing, but yes.
That's the old Tyler twist on it, you know. Yeah, no.
I just wanted you to stay awake while I'm praying.
Yeah, please. It wasn't that hard, guys. Oh man, I feel like there's a lot you could probably do with Samson too. It's like, I'm going to fight this lion now.
So why did you cut my hair?
Yeah, who would win, an entire army or one dude with a donkey skull? Oh, this is something else I feel like probably needs to be addressed in this comedic retelling. So I always remember like the story of Abraham and Sarah, where they go into Egypt, and he's like, "Oh yeah, pretend that like you're my sister, right? So that they don't kill me." And then like he ends up finding out that like, oh, that's his wife, and not his sister, and God's gonna like punish me or whatever. But the part of the story that I never remembered being told as a kid is the straight up shocking line that Abraham is like, well, now I technically was not lying to you guys. See, we have the same biological father, just not the same mother. It's like, oh, I don't really remember that in Sunday school. But I mean,
back then, and this is something that I've been told, that DNA wasn't as messed up as it is now, so that wouldn't have really caused issues.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say that like, there's only so many people. But actually, I'm not
also,
too.
Why would they tell that in Sunday school? That seems like something that they probably wouldn't do.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. Yeah, I'm not too sure where I fall in this camp. If there's only like a very specific set amount of people that we only see in the Bible, or if there's like, well, I mean, there's gotta be randos that are running around doing random shit that are not related to everybody else. Okay, this is my reasoning for it, is because you take a look at like the story of Cain and Abel. Cain says that like, oh, you got to put a mark on me or everyone is going to want to kill me. Who? Adam? Eve? There's no Seth at this point. That Adam and Eve? Maybe like unnamed daughters 1, 2, and 3? Like, who's trying to kill you? And secondly, it says that Cain goes out and he builds this city for who? I don't know. And that he finds a wife. A wife? What? Who? So there's got to be other randos running around doing rando things.
So Jesus Freaker, by the way, do you have anything to add to that?
Now, if I had to guess...
they'll type in a second.
Okay, all right.
If you had to guess...
if I had to guess, I would say that these are probably some of the wicked people that get wiped out during the flood. Like, those are the ancestors of those dudes. That would be my guess. And that we only really hear about, like, the good people, because why would we need to hear about the evil people? We shouldn't be like them. So that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Is that there are other people... And they're
about Cain.
Yeah, because I mean.
Anyways, I'm gonna go back and talk about something that Bible Man said earlier.
Go for it.
Because he was talking about verses 28 and 29. Ow, my beard keeps getting caught on my shirt.
No.
Don't you hate whenever you shave or trim your beard,
and it kind of gets caught on some things.
Alright, 28 and 29 is, what do you think? There was a man who had 2 sons. He went to the first one and said, son, go and work the vineyard. The son replied, I will not. But later he changed his mind and went. And so Bible Man said, the first son reminds me of Jonah. He was told by God to go to Nineveh. He said, I don't know the spelling. And he rebelled, but then he later did what God asked him. It's neat to know that God gives us second chances to do what he asks.
Yeah, no, I feel like there have been others too that like have kind of got their second chance. I mean, well, and I know I keep going back to
Saul
Saul, right?
got a second chance.
That is
Saul
true.
got a big second chance. He was murdering people.
Yeah, yeah. Not only that, he was like doing witchcraft and shit. Well, I mean, I guess technically he wasn't doing witchcraft, but he like went to people who were doing witchcraft and was like seeking like their approval and help or whatever. So definitely. And like Samson, how many second chances did that dude get? Like a million? He was constantly fucking up. He was kind of the worst judge of them all.
Oh, I mean, you can even talk about Israel like that.
Oh, yeah. That's actually literally where I was about to go. Is like, since I've been reading Exodus and Genesis. Oh wow! First of all, you've got Moses, who's like every 5 seconds, I can't do this. I'm not the right guy. And God is like, but you are, okay? Look, it's gonna be fine. Just go and do it. I'm telling you to do it. Right? I'm telling you to do it. It's gonna be fine. Man up, all right? And then you've got Israel, who's just like every 5 seconds, we're gonna die. It's like, but God just rained down bread for you like last Tuesday, okay? And they're like, we're gonna die. And finally,
like when Moses went up to get the Ten Commandments, the people were like, you know what, screw God.
I haven't got to that part yet, G.
We're gonna make our own, like, altar. And I'm like, why? He was gone for like 2 seconds.
Literally.
Exactly how long he was gone, but it's like, that's like, this seems, he just rescued you.
On multiple occasions.
The miracle of swallowing the Egyptians in the water.
Right.
Like, why in the world? So, Sir Jesus Freak is saying there is a lot of discussion about who Cain was referring to. It is possible that there was other humans / proto-humans that God created, but Adam and Eve were distinguished from the others, and the other types of humans were wiped.
G?
Ultra?
Are you back?
I've been here, buddy.
Oh, okay. Because I heard a little to-doon, and it was like you had left or something. I was scared and alone there for like 2 seconds. Oh, no, I was on the page.
That was fine.
Oh, okay, all right.
My stream center?
I don't know. I guess something weird happened. I don't know. It was kind of freezing up on me for a little bit. Might just be a Wi-Fi thing.
My stream might have stuttered. I don't entirely know.
That's an interesting point.
But anyways, do you want me to read that thing again?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think you did.
I got like part of it.
You did hear it.
Yeah, I got like it was I think proto-humans was the last thing that I heard.
Oh wow, okay. Let me continue then, because there's a whole other part.
Oh, okay.
He said it's possible that there were other humans / proto-humans that God created, but Adam and Eve were distinguished from the others, and the other types of humans were wiped out by the flood or natural selection.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's a really like nice interpretation that it could be like Neanderthals or something like that. You know, where it's like, you know, it's in the neighborhood, but doesn't have that like spirit, you know, the way that like humans do.
Right. There was
a soul.
There was a what's the word I'm looking for? A distinguishing when man was formed.
Right.
Or Adam, I should say, not man.
Have you ever heard of this is totally random, and this is not like anywhere in the Bible at all, and as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it comes from Zoroastrianism maybe. But have you ever heard of where people say that Adam had like a second or a first wife before Eve, and it was like
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Lilith?
Yes, and she's like a demon or whatever.
Yeah, there's not really any biblical claim on that.
Yeah, none at all, really. But
we're not going to talk about that because that is not biblical.
Yeah, not even like really kind of like biblical adjacent. It's kind of like the bad fan fiction that someone wrote like years later. Why do we have so many fan fictions of the Bible?
Because people like to write.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know.
But like, you could.
Everybody likes to take the Bible and twist it. Let me backtrack it because not everybody. Some people.
A lot of people.
Take the Bible and twist it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be stepping on some toes right now. So if you are a part of these people, just know that I love you, but
G?
point of the gospel. So why are you making that your point?
It's so funny. You were like, "No, I love you," but and it just completely cut off, and then like you just came back.
So, bro, you need to get some better Wi-Fi. What's happening?
Oh, I know. Spectrum is the worst. I hate Spectrum. They're awful.
Anyways, what I was saying was, the Mother God cult that is now sprouting up. I don't know if you've ran into any of them.
What? No, I've never heard of it. What is the Mother God cult?
It's this church, quote unquote, called the World Mission Society Church of God. Thanks, Lex. I got it right here. World Mission Society Church of God, and they basically believe that there was a there's a Mother God, and they like preach that you should like worship the Mother God and all this stuff. And I'm like, you're missing the entire point of the Bible. Like, the entire point of the Bible is about Jesus and how Jesus is God, and the only way to Christ is through Jesus. So why are you honing in on this weird random thing and preaching that to everybody?
Right. Hey, Slicks, how's it going?
Slicks is gone too.
Yeah, no, he just popped in and said bye. Yeah, that's the same message I got. And also, doesn't it specifically say that God doesn't have a gender in the Bible? And like each of the genders are like different aspects of God, basically. Like how men are supposed to be like strong protectors, and like women are supposed to be like caring and loving and like that kind of. I feel like I've heard this before. I wouldn't take that as gospel, but I feel like that is my interpretation of it. It's like both genders have like a little bit of a certain aspect of God's character, you know, that we're supposed to like fulfill. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I'll do the same thing. Surgeons Freak, Bible Man, do you have anything to add? Any points you want to bring up? Or comments and or negative comments about
yeah, tell us about what a terrible job that we did.
Yeah, we're doing awful. No, constructive criticism is greatly appreciated.
Yes, always.
I cannot speak.
I guess while we're waiting for one of them to answer, man, we got to read the Book of Enoch one day. We got to check that Enoch. I said we got to read that one day. So because I just want to show that to you so badly because there's just so many little things in it. Oh, I know. I tell you about it all the fucking time. Every time I start like reading from it, I'm just like blown away because it's like, again, this book was written down before Genesis, and it's talking about Jesus coming back. Like, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, Sir Jesus Freak said he's pretty sure that the Bible doesn't say that God is genderless, but many people say that the word he with the capital H is based on that he, another capital H, is above all humans.
Right. Yeah, and it's supposed to be like a fatherly relationship. That's
sly remarks. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Any comments or sly remarks?
No. I mean, I'm pretty on board with that. You know, pretty on board. No complaints here. I'm not yelling heresy.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing anything in the comments. Ultra, you have any last minute things to say? I said comments. This is chat.
Christ is king. That's it.
Christ is king. Jesus is king. Jesus is king.
Yeah. Jesus is king.
Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Remember to go forth and fight with honor, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you, and God bless.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, Slicks. Thank you to anyone else who may have tuned in and didn't chat with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the YouTube crowd who's gonna like and subscribe. And thank you, G, for showing up here with me and doing this with me.
Whoa,
and
but that seems backhanded.
I didn't mean it for it to be backhanded.
For showing up.
I'm gonna be honest. I was just kind of juggling words around there.
Yeah, me too. I'm kidding.
Yeah. No. I mean, I can string a sentence together half the time. You know. The other half, I'm just just moving along as as we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There goes out the totally can't speak part right there too. Yeah, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.